Oh, God, the hand! Oh, the hand! Oh, the
God,
noises!
no.
Oh, God. Ever thought about what it'd be like if the movie The Goonies RL Stine and they had gay triplets? Well, if you haven't, the Fear Street Trilogy is exactly that. Equal parts gore and classic 80s teen movie material, Fear Street isn't afraid to show a girl's hand getting ripped off or a little bit of teenage sex. But is this trilogy worth the 330 minutes of prime screen real estate it costs? And how accurate to the original R.L. Stine books are these movies? Strap on your synagogues, because you're in for some lesbian movie review stew, Fear Street style.
Dude, what the hell?
Another shady side tragedy.
Fear Street, directed by Lee Janik, takes place in the appropriately named town of Shadyville, a place that's been haunted by psycho killers for generations. Kiana Madeira stars as Dina, a true queero and badass defender against evil. Dina is joined by her younger brother Josh and a crew of fellow misfits throughout the movie. They spend the duration of the trilogy trying to figure out why Shadyville is such a show that consistently produces serial killers. Apparently, nobody on a national level has noticed this yet. Just some kids. Each movie takes place in a different time period, with each movie's title corresponding to the year it takes place in. Part 1, 1994, introduces us to the type of content we can expect to be seeing throughout this trilogy via a classic Scream-style mall killing scene. I love that they used a garbage song to start the movie out. I'm only happy when it rhymes. The beginning of this trilogy really spends a lot of time throwing a good amount of teenage bullshit our way. Like, we spend a lot of time on the huge rivalry between Shadyville and Sunnyvale. Great name, by the way, but there can only be one true Sunnyvale, and it's a small trailer park nestled in the heart of Nova Scotia, Canada, filled with a bunch of white trash criminals growing and eating chicken fingers.
And I know that douchebag out there was squeezing your ass. What's his name?
You broke up with me.
What's his name, Sam?
Peter! His name is Peter!
Well, I think we can all agree we hate Peter. Since when do the band kids, cheerleaders, and football players all share the same bus? What is this, like the Peacemakers Kumbaya school for everyone? Come on, in my day, they separated us all into groups so the nerdy band kids wouldn't infect the cool cheerleaders and football players with our nerd kid energy. I mistakenly originally thought these films were based off of the Goosebumps books, but they're not. They're their own series, actually, the Fear Street series. There's about 51 books in total as part of the series. The real question is, how close to the books are the movies? The answer? Not very. In fact, there's no 1994, 1978, or 1666 books. The screenwriters have stated they didn't base the scripts off of any particular books, but they were just going for the same vibe that the original books had. This scene of them walking into the hospital just gave me literal goosebumps. It's classic R.L. Stine book cover vibes. But by far the most goosebumpsy R.L. Stine element to this trilogy is a giant, fat, oozing pile of slime that will end up producing these zombies and psycho killers that end up chasing our leads. Halfway through 1994, my wife walked into the room and she was like, "Is it scary?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "'Cause it's a dumb kids movie." Look, if you can't handle the movie Jaws, you definitely don't need to watch this trilogy. But if you're okay with a little bit more than a Scream / I Know What You Did Last Summer level of violence, you're gonna be fine.
No, we are not. She's. We put Sam in the hall. We end this now.
Damn! Y'all want me just to sacrifice? Damn! Y'all just want me to just damn! I just learned some stuff about y'all, didn't I? I guess it's not gonna matter since you want me to kill myself. How much younger is the kid brother than that girl? Also, Isn't that other white guy that girl's boyfriend? Why is he fine with her making out with this child? On the one hand, I don't understand this at all, and it's confusing / slightly disturbing. On the other hand, somebody obviously has seen the movie Goonies. As far as the soundtrack goes, the Fear Street Trilogy is totally killing it. When Firestarter came on, like, that was way before me, and I still was just like dying and living for that all at once. By far the movie that most reminds us straight love exists is the middle movie, Part 2. First thing to note about Part 2 is it is seriously lacking in the queer department. It's a bunch of straight teens having straight teen sex. If you, like me, were under the impression the whole trilogy is gay, it's not. It's definitely just the first and the last movies that are gay. It's almost like they wanted to slip in some straight romance in the middle. Like, it's kind of what they used to do with the gay relationship. We'll just slip a little. The queers won't notice if we just get a little traditional. They won't notice it up. Just in the middle movie. Just in Part 2. Nobody talks about Part 2. The way the movies go is first movie, kind of queer. Second movie, zero queer. Third movie, super ultra mega gay. The fact that they have to recap each movie before you go on to the next movie, I've heard some people say this should have been a series, and I'm inclined to agree. So the whole second movie takes place at a kids camp, which, kids camps, am I right? Like, let's ship our kids off to the middle of nowhere, and let's put other kids in charge of them. It'll be great. The plot of 1968 follows two sisters at camp, one a counselor, one a student, who find themselves smack dab in the middle of a murder spree. We arrive to this plot via Dina and her kid brother Josh, who go to Ziggy's house because they realize that she is somebody who has dealt with this type of stuff before. When they get to her house, Ziggy begins to tell them the story of the week of camp where she lost her sister to the crazy witch lady zombie murder people. And voila, suddenly we find ourselves transported back to the classic rock era with Carry On Our Wayward Son playing on the radio and some kids smoking grass in the cabin next door. Okay, to me, in an effort to bring us back, they also brought us back to a lot of these old-fashioned, tired tropes of the rich kids are all bullies, the kids who listen to punk rock all do drugs and have no direction or meaning in their life. I don't know, it felt like a lot of cliche, it felt like an after-school special, to be frank.
Harold, honey.
Okay, how does some random teen know how to reset a bone? Another horror movie miracle. Can't figure out how to use phones or avoid running into dark caves underground. Can't figure out how to fix a bloody leg with a bone jutting out of it. Part 3, 1666, tells the story of the original witch that started everything at the beginning back in the pioneering days when Shadyville was just forming as a town. Dina gets a hold of this witch's hand or bones or something, and suddenly she's transported back to the witch's time and she gets to relive this whole story. I will say, the ultimate final action sequence in this trilogy is epic and brilliant. Okay, one thing to note, the third movie is by far the hardest movie to watch if you're like a woman. Mostly because it takes place during a time period where you were pretty much the ass if you were like a woman. I think I would rather see more of the hacking and the blood and the gore than the like, witch woman! They're lesbian witches! You know, like, it's kind of how a lot of lesbians complain about how many movies set in the olden days we get, like how many period lesbian movies there are. It's like, okay, I think we've seen this enough. I'm not like that into Sam and Dina. We didn't get too much background on their relationship. I don't know. I feel like I was just watching The L Word with Tina and Carrie and their great chemistry, and with Bet and Gigi and their great chemistry, and this was just kind of lacking. I'm gonna give their kissing scenes 1 out of 4 stars. Not because I think the actors did a terrible job, I just don't think this couple was like dripping in chemistry. I think Kiana Madeira as Dina, very compelling. Kiana Madeira and Olivia Scott as a leading couple that we're trying to root for like 330 minutes. Not as compelling. I don't know how many different people did they screen test with Kiana Madeira. With the bitchy critiques I've been dropping throughout this video, you may be surprised I have anything left to complain about, but I do. Let's Timothy this. Oh my god, I am from Oklahoma, where the Oklahoma City bombing committed by Timothy McVeigh took place. And no, I just don't think anybody would say that. I get the distinct feeling that one's amount of interest in these films decreases as your age increases. By the middle of the second film, I was pretty much rooting for the zombies. I was like, yeah, kill all those little Like, my wife says I say this about every single movie I review on here, but it. These movies were too long. Chop 15 to 30 minutes off of each one of them. That being said, I give the trilogy 2 out of 4 stars. If you watch them solely for the RL Stine nostalgia, I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed. And the actors all do a great job, especially Benjamin Flores Jr., who plays the kid brother Josh. He's really great and funny. In fact, throughout most of this video, I refer to the lesbian couple Sam and Dina as the leads, when actually at times in the trilogy, it's Dina and her kid brother Josh who portray the leads, and when they take more of center stage, the movie is much more interesting and fun and compelling. So there you have it. Watch the movies if you are interested in some R.L. Stine throwback energy, or if you just want to watch, a throwback to classic 80s teen romp movies. If not, you can skip it. Thank you for watching. I hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm so thankful, so excited. Thank you so much, everybody who supports me in comments. Oh my god, there's been so many great comments. I keep meaning to hit on the comments, but time, of course, is always a factor. I'm gonna get to those eventually. I can't wait till I'm approved to do community posts. Then I can get you more involved, asking you, giving you polls about what kind of content I should create next. I'm really excited to get you more involved. All right, I've been Amanda. This is my Really Gay YouTube channel. I'll see you next video.